booster tokens, shake them up in your hand, and randomly pick one. This player will go first.
Well.
Okay.
After randomly selecting the first player, shuffle cards. Deal one face up to each player. Okay. Two customers, guys. 4. It's gotta be more.
Those are the ones we used, I guess.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
6 boards. There has to be more.
So the mic is working. Or darts things.
Oh, these cards.
What? What is it?
Probably like turn things. Maybe.
Well, I know some of these cards are if you're playing single player.
Oh,
You have to use that.
Maybe that's it.
Alright, so we need to shuffle these.
The mamas and the papas.
Shuffle these. And each player gets one face up. And that's your starting resources. Or we can do 2 and have people choose which one they want as a variant.
Just random, I guess.
So every mama gets 2 regular workers, and then whatever cards are on. Every papa card comes with 1 grande worker, and must come with a certain amount of lira.
Excuse me, dogs. Thanks. Right, there we go. So that tells you how many workers you have.
Oh, well, that's lame.
Well, I think they're all the same.
They're all the same.
Yeah.
And then you get to pick on your papa card the bottom thing. It's one of your structures or money or one point something. I think that might be a victory
structure, man.
What's the
might be a victory point.
Yeah.
The blue, the purple.
Is that a victory point?
It's gotta be because it looks like that.
Right. Yeah, so you can do, right, so in my case it's money or a structure.
So I get 5. Oops, sorry.
I get 7, so I need to take that with a victory point. Because I need money to buy a structure since I don't get one.
7. What is the structure that I'm buying?
Do you start with vines of grapes or no?
It depends on your mama.
Okay.
Right, so like in my case, I'm starting with, I believe this is 2 winter visitors. No, I'm sorry, this is two orders, I think. These are vines, if I'm not mistaken. Vines, summer visitors, orders, maybe, and then
Winter visitors.
winter visitors.
Yes.
Yeah, because the
fill order thing is.
Oh right, yeah.
So I will choose my structure.
Oh, so then in this case, this is the orders.
Yeah.
Or at least when you. Draw
Do you want to be in charge of it?
visitors. There's some spot where it's saying you can. So the blue and yellow are the visitors.
Yeah.
Because here's where you can choose if you want winter visitors or. So yeah, so these are the vines that you can get. So you can get vine cards, and then you are able to play them. So if you go on to these squares here, If you're the first one to put down your guy, your worker, you want to go with the middle because then you actually draw 2 those cards. And then otherwise, since we're playing with 4 players, you can use all 3 of these spots. And then over here is playing, so you can play one of the visitor cards.
We can only use 2 spots.
Okay, we can only use 2 spots.
5 to 6 players.
Oh, right, because you can have lots of players in this game. I forgot. So here's where you can play visitor cards. And then they have different abilities that happen depending. Over here.
So if you go in the middle, you can play 2.
Right. Yep. And so over here is where you give a tour. Is just a way to get money. So you get 2 money unless you go on here, then you actually get 3. Over here you can build a structure.
Yeah.
And then so it's at a 1 discount if you're the first one. Then here you can sell at least 1 grape or buy 1 field. So yeah, so your field isn't
You have to buy it first for 5 before you can do it, right? No.
So at least 1 field.
Good luck.
Or buy, sell 1 field. That part's confusing me. The buy, sell 1 field. I'm pretty sure these fields already
Sell any number of grape tokens, at least 1 from your crush pad, for the price indicated by the coin.
You can sell the actual field. You already own them.
I already flipped it and looked and saw this whole thing.
Between the crush pads.
So I get 2 greens and a purple.
Alternatively, you can sell 1 of your fields for the player amount indicated on the field card, or buy back 1 of your sold fields.
Yeah. And the buyback amount's actually the same amount. So that might be a strategy that
it's like decent. A way to get money.
You're right. A bunch of money that you have
to It's like a loan from yourself.
Yeah.
You cannot sell a field if it has vine cards on it.
Okay. And so then this here, this one always adds and stuff. Is this?
I still need my cards for my thing.
Yeah, I haven't done that either. Okay, explain. What is this card here for?
That's just
a stack of stuff.
Those weird cards that we didn't know what they were.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And so then this is where you can draw orders. Yes. So you can draw order cards. So these are like down the line. You're trying to fulfill orders. Here is where you can harvest 1 field. So you'll have vines you planted on your fields. Here's where you can harvest them and they move down into your crush pad. Then here you can play visitor cards, the winter visitor cards. Here's where you can make up to so you can take the stuff from the crushing area and then do some weird mechanics to move it over here. I mean, the weird ones are the blended ones. The other ones are pretty straightforward. You can do obviously 1 more in there. Here you can pay to get another worker, and so you get a little bit of a discount if you go there. And then here's where you can fulfill orders, and then you can fulfill. You get 1 more victory point if you go here when you're filling the order. And then if you
but you can't unless you have the sellers. You can't do something that's 4, 5, or 6 unless you have the medium seller.
Right. Yeah. You're right. Based on the seller size, how much you can make fills up there. There's seasons. So in the first season is on this half of the board, and then the second season on this one. The gain where you can just like get a little bit of money. That's for Ida.
What I don't remember is you have to have a trellis before you can plant.
It depends.
It depends on the
some grapes need a trellis. Some need.
And it's on the card.
So if I would say what you can do is you can draw. I don't have any. I mean, I don't have any anyway. But if you have some of these, then you have a choice if you want to plant or build a structure or a thing. You can decide based on the vines you pick up initially.
Yeah. So I get 2 vines and an order.
Okay.
But what does the yoke do for me?
The yoke
lets you uproot or harvest a vine.
Oh, I can put a worker here. That's what that means.
Yeah.
Right.
I can put a worker there so I can harvest if I want to, if that's already full.
Right.
And I can do it in summer if I want to. No.
So mine is a bunch of visitors. Wow.
Oh.
Okay.
Which aren't bad because they give good stuff too.
Right. I almost like that better than everything else.
How do you know if it's harvested or not?
Which?
The thing. How do you know that you harvested it?
What do you, well, the grapes always stay there. So you.
What do you do when you harvest?
When you say harvest, then you
So
look at the values of the
like
things
you put it here when you plant it, and then when you harvest it, you take your little thing and you put it on the corresponding thing.
Right. So if combined here, there's 2 red and 3 white.
Okay.
Then you would put 2 token on here or down, round down if there's already something there, and then 3 on the white or round up.
And then it's this to move it from here to here.
Right. Mm-hmm. And so there's you combine, so it'd just be straight up moving over.
And then at the end of every season, it ages.
Right.
But the grapes don't age, right? Only the wine.
I think the grapes age as well. The crushed grapes. And then over here, when these age, so with the combining, I believe it's so if you took a 2 and a 3, when you combine them, then it's a 5.
I think so.
And then
but that's that's only if you're gonna make one of the mixture ones.
Yeah. So if your order is for, for champagne or the blush or something, but then right, and then then there's like different things you do. So like tasting room, when you give a tour, if you have at least one wine in your cellar, gain the victory point. So if you have stuff in here, then when you do a tour, you get they get a sample.
Is there a limit to how many things you can have?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I
think the only limit is
you can't
what you can store until you get
right.
upgrade your cellar.
And then you can't have 2 tokens on each thing. So every time if you have something else in there, it's going to round down. All the time.
Right.
Yeah, I really like visitors. They're pretty cool.
And
And there's a hand limit. Something. So before we go crazy with our hands, we should remember that.
And then like with this, obviously it says max value 5. So if you have a 3 and a 2, they can go in the same field, right?
Right.
Regardless of the color of the grapes.
Correct. So I don't think we need after we've done the initial card stuff for these, I don't think we need these out anymore.
No, we don't.
Don't I want to remember Matthew and Christine?
Oh, but I'm actually not done with that. I still have to make a choice. I guess I'll take money. I should get the deluxe version. Get some.
Don't
money.
forget that your big guy lets you go on a place that's
Right.
already full.
Yeah. So right.
Huh?
So if all the spots are filled up, you could still put your grande worker over there. Yeah. There's a bigger worker. In case you can't see it, but there's a bigger one that can go even if it's filled up.
Trying to look for hand limit stuff. I don't know where it would be.
Yeah.
And the game ends when somebody gets to 20 points. Oh, the residual payment thing, what's that again?
Yeah. So when you actually fulfill an order, you're going to get some amount of residual payment, and then
the end of the year you get that much.
Yeah, at the end of the year you get them. So it's a reoccurring amount.
I have no idea where to find anything about a hand limit. I don't see it.
Do what?
Thanks.
Oh.
Look at my cards. They're done enough. Okay. In order to play the visitor cards, you have to be there. It's not like something you play. Yep.
Question. Discard down to 7 cards. So at the end of the year, you have to discard down to 7 cards. Players
So
must.
not between seasons, it doesn't matter.
Correct. Yeah, just at the end of the year is when things age, workers return, collect residual payments, discard down to 7, rotate first player marker. Cool.
Oh yeah, and then this is the extra.
Right.
Marker.
Yeah, so if you, depending on the order that you pick,
Oh, yeah.
then you get different bonuses. Cool. I'm gonna remove this from now. Because they're also sitting out, so maybe just remove it entirely. Just dump it. Yeah.
Dump Muddy Buddy?
Or sitting out. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I don't know what could really
I've been most of them.
go
Okay.
wrong with them.
Alright. No,
They're not stale.
I'll relocate that to the space.
Would you like to randomly pick who goes first?
We'll just use the set of the.
A set of the roosters?
Yeah, that's what we'll like to.
It's not what the rules say.
Peter, roosters are doesn't count.
You get to go first, so. Is that still cheating?